Yes, details coming in of how India is certainly hopeful of inking US trade deal by fall season. Commerce Minister who has said that the first part of the deal will be announced by November. Piyush Goyal who said that there is serious progress as far as the US-India trade talks are concerned. He's also said that both sides are satisfied with talks. This is a day after Trump rooted for talks with Modi. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, who's given crucial insight into the talks that are underway. I want to go back to my colleague Aishwarya Paliwal, who continues to track all the details. But before that, we listen in to what the Commerce Minister has said.
फरवरी 2025 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप जी ने मिलकर हमें निर्देश दिया था कि दोनों पक्ष के मंत्री फॉल 2025 यानी नवंबर 2025 तक एक अच्छा करार करें। उस करार का पहला अंश फर्स्ट ट्रैंच नवंबर 2025 तक फाइनल करें और लगभग मार्च से इस विषय पर बड़ी गंभीरता से बड़े अच्छे वातावरण में बातचीत चल रही है, प्रगति हो रही है।
And Aishwarya Paliwal, who continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Aishwarya, Piyush Goyal's statement certainly signaling that things are moving in a positive direction. The US that was rather harsh towards India a while ago, and that position is certainly softening. How much of an impact will trickle down to the talks that are underway is what we wait and watch.
Well, definitely, Suresha, from what we are understanding, back on track. That's the word that is being used by experts at the moment, but also there is optimistic caution. Indian authorities very, very clear with regards to the areas that they will not be opening up. The government has given out a very clear signal to the US President Donald Trump. If you've also seen the response which is given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the PMO, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, swiftly responded to what Donald Trump has said. So it's a response coming in from India. The statements, let me remind you, are coming in from the United States of America and from President Donald Trump. From what we are understanding, a lot of people in US at the moment are very keenly looking at this conversation, and they also have been warning the Trump administration that alienating India is not good for the US economy. So this is something which time and again has been told, has been informed, and also has been given out as a sign of caution to the US authorities. So we are now seeing talks back on track, and that's the reason, from what we understand at the moment, a team which was supposed to visit India almost 25 days ago is all set to visit India now. The end of the month is when we will see that conversation taking place, and India is looking at finalizing the BTA, which is the bilateral trade agreement, by November this year. So, Isha.
Oh yes, absolutely, Aishwarya. I request you to stay on with us as we once again listen into this latest statement coming in from Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal.
फरवरी 2025 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप जी ने मिलकर हमें निर्देश दिया था कि दोनों पक्ष के मंत्री फॉल 2025 यानी नवंबर 2025 तक एक अच्छा करार करें। उस करार का पहला अंश फर्स्ट ट्रैंच नवंबर 2025 तक फाइनल करें और लगभग मार्च से इस विषय पर बड़ी गंभीरता से बड़े अच्छे वातावरण में बातचीत चल रही है, प्रगति हो रही है।
And cutting across to my colleague Chetan Bhutani, who stays with us on the broadcast. Chetan, the fact that Piyush Goyal says that both sides seem satisfied with the way the talks are proceeding. How do you read into this?
Well, it has been a very clear intention from the United States government on the US trade talks with India, because we've been seeing in the last 40 days the condition and the ties have been worsening. But yes, both the leaders eventually understanding that it is important to have a good trade deal in hand. So even President Trump initiated the good words for India, and of course the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister eventually reacted to it by addressing that yes, we would be working together to have a good bilateral trade deal. So that's what is the story behind that. But we see negotiators meeting in person and talking very soon. And in fact, Piyush Goyal coming on record and mentioning that by November we would have a trade deal, the first tranche probably. But yes, all in all, we see the government of India will not be budging in for the demands that US has been putting on the table. The government is very strict and clear about the fact that agriculture will not be opened up to the United States because it will not be beneficial for the farmers of the country. And of course, dairy farms is what the government has been very critical upon. and US wants to wants an access to that market, but the government absolutely making its intent clear that they will not be budging at all. However, the trade negotiators, Rajesh Malhotra led delegation, would be meeting US delegation very soon, that we are told. But on the table is, of course, India keeping a very strict stance on what it matters for the agricultural economy as well.
Oh yes, would be very interesting to watch how this pans out. For the moment, Chetan, thank you for joining us.